It was the 18th meeting of EU leaders about the economic crisis since it began, but perhaps the most effective. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, under pressure from Spain, Italy and France, agreed to give struggling banks direct access to EU bailout funds without affecting government debt. Eurozone leaders also agreed a joint banking supervisory body, a step towards a banking union. We asked the views of ALDE leader Guy Verhofstadt and the leader of the ECR, Martin Callanan. Is it a step towards fiscal and political union in the Eurozone?
I think they've taken a very small step towards fiscal and political union, but the summit conclusions were very vague. There's still a lot of details to be worked on, and of course the key question of joint liability for debts or deposits has not been answered at all.
This is not the full-fledged economic, fiscal and political union we need. For that, it's necessary that you establish an economic government in the Eurozone, a treasury in the Eurozone, a common bond market also in the Eurozone, and that is still in discussion.
Was this a climb down for Chancellor Angela Merkel?
I suppose there was a slight climb down in terms of at least allowing the possibility of direct recapitalisation of banks. But there's still a long way to go before that will happen. The details have to be worked out. The ECB has to take on the role of supervisor, etc. So I think there's still a long way to go. And the key questions have been avoided yet again.
It is only limited. Why? Because if the funds are empty, they are empty. And there is no structural solution for the euro. So I think that still a Eurobond market, Eurobonds, a redemption fund, or a partial mutualization of the debt is absolutely necessary to rescue the euro.
Is this the game changer Ireland believes and the markets demand?
I don't think it was a game changer. I think there's been a slight decrease in the yields, but they're still well above 6% and not far away from the 7% level. You know, for context, Britain and Germany are borrowing at about less than 2%. So there's still a long way to go. There's been a slight difference. The markets like it initially, but we've seen this before at previous summits. Initially, the reaction is positive. People start to look at the details. Doubts start to be expressed. Already, for instance, the Netherlands and Finland have expressed some reservations about the plans. And I think we could see the details of it start to unravel over the next few months as they start to work on the precise implementation of it.
I don't think it's possible to already come to a conclusion. Remember that in December 2011, and there was another so-called game changer. That was the LTRO 1 and LTRO 2 operations of the European Central Bank. And finally, we only bought time at that moment, 3 months of time, and the crisis came back. So I don't believe that this is really solving the crisis if you don't have a mutualization of the debt.
What else will leaders have to do to protect the euro?
I think it's far too early to say, and I think, again, once you start getting into the key question, are the richer countries of Northern Europe, whether it be in sovereign debts or whether it be in bank deposits, are they going to guarantee the liabilities of Southern Europe? That's the key question, and yet again, that question has been fudged.
I'm negative on the fact that we have to wait until a new report in October and then a final report in December before we can go further in that direction. So that's the reason why I think that it's necessary now that the European Commission comes forward as fast as possible with a global package of legislative proposals establishing such an economic, fiscal and political union, establishing also a Eurobond market, or at least Euro bills or a European collective redemption fund.
Will this lead to a two-speed Europe?
Well, we've always had sort of two-speed Europes in respect of some countries will choose to take part in some mechanisms and not in others. And in many respects, you know, the euro is the epitome of a two-speed Europe. 17 countries are part of it, 10 countries are not. It's the same with Schengen. A number of countries are in, a number of countries are not. And of course, there's no question of the UK taking part in this banking union if it ever happens. So of course, we're seeing a number of different speeds of integration. And I think we'll see that exemplified in the months ahead.
Everybody's talking about a two-speed Europe, but we have already a two-speed Europe since the entrance of the euro. So that doesn't make any difference in my opinion. But what is clear now that is that the Eurozone has to become a full-fledged economic and political union the fastest as possible. And if we do that, and it's absolutely necessary to safeguard the euro, then automatically the difference between those inside and those outside the eurozone is growing, is becoming deeper and deeper, that difference.